Whew. Hey everybody, I just came to the shed of solitude in a downpour. Some late afternoon thunderstorms, which we kind of need because it's been oppressive, as you know, with last night's video, which wasn't all that spectacular, but I did a video, right? Adding to my total, it's 30 videos down, 31 including this one now. But it was a bit crazy just a few minutes ago, but I came out here and and if you see my tongue looks blue, it's because I had an icy, because it's hot. So, but anyway, today's video, I was reading more reflections on the human condition, and I came across something that kind of hit home, because when I started the Cantina Cast, well, when we came back, I should say, when we came back, but even back then, when I did create it, I wanted it to live on for a while. I wanted it to have legs and not, live beyond me, basically, what it comes down to. So we took that 10-month break in 2012, or whatever it was. We came back in 2013, retooled the show, figured those things out. Now, myself and my co-host at the time, we always felt the show was more than the personalities, like the show and the formula. At least that's how I felt. I believe that. That was my theory. My co-host, I believe most of the time, or at least in the early days, felt the same way, but as time went on, a bit of his ego got in the way. But for the most part, I always wanted this to live beyond me, which is why well, let me just get to what it says here. It says this is about creators. This is what this part of the book is about. And here comes the rain, so hopefully it's not too loud. The genuine creator creates something that has life of its own, something that can exist and function without him. And that's important for me, especially now in my sabbatical. Wow, here comes the rain. Maybe I'll do this. I'll close the door a bit. I was trying to enjoy that breeze, but so this is something that I've always felt about the Cantina Cast, and and even Air Glue Media now. Depending on what the hell I'm doing here with my sabbatical, trying to figure things out. Well, let's go on. Let's move on. A creative organizer creates an organization that can function well without him. And that, I believe I've accomplished that goal, surprisingly. The people at EGM, Albert and Jonesy for the Cantina Cast, they know what the hell they're doing. They don't need me. They ask me every now and then for something, like an advice or something, but they're smart guys. They're probably the best hosts we've ever had for the Cantina Cast, if I'm being honest. As far as Josh and Joe and Stephanie and Kara and everybody that's involved with EGM, they're smart people. They know what to do. I feel like I'm more of a hindrance to them, to be honest, at times. So where was I? Let's see. When a genuine leader has done his work, his followers will say, "We have done it ourselves," and feel that they can do great things without great leaders. And I believe that. I really, really do. I believe that. And I'm going to open the door again. It's not so loud. I truly believe that. It's funny. Now, creatively, when you're thinking of like podcasts and podcast network, for the most part, this can apply to most of us, I think. I think we can safely say you get a show. I want to step down, but I can bring someone in to do that and kind of coach them, get them through that. I think you can do that. You can get it to where you want to be and keep the legacy going. And I pretty much accomplished that with the Cantina Cast, and EGM can as well in the future as well. So I strongly believe that you can do that. Now, the opposite is, okay, that applies to most, but can that apply to a channel like this, like a solo channel? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, sure, someone could come in here, give me lots of money and say, this is what we want you to do, and I guess they could replace me at some point, put someone else here. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty strange because the channel is named after me, really. But I don't, for the most part, I think it works out well where you can create something like that, almost like a business, You create something, you pass it on, whether it be a family or a friend or someone that been part of the company or been around in the company or whatever, and you feel as though they're the right person to carry on the legacy and stuff. I think, or the even better approach, which I've tried to do for the most part, and I try to do with the network, is stay out of people's way and let them do their thing. I'll give my sage advice with podcasting and stuff, but for the most part, I kind of let them do their thing, and I think that bothers them sometimes, because I think that some of them feel a little lost, like, because we have a few that want to start a podcast and this, that, and the other, but they don't know which way to go, and I'm kind of like, yeah, well, great, let's do it, and I don't give them the direction they want, which is frustrating for them, because I just want them to come up with something and make it their own and do their thing. But sometimes you got to step in and give advice, which I will at some point with those that want to create a podcast and stuff. So I just thought that was interesting that I was reading this. I wasn't expecting the creators section in this. I was pretty surprised by that, and then it kind of just hit me, because I was going to talk about something else today, but I went with this because I think it's very poignant for me at this point in my life and in my podcasting career, so to speak, or journey, whatever you want to freaking call it. But here it is. Let me see. There we go. Right there. You can see me scratching my stuff. So, my notes there. So, I thought that was pretty poignant for me. Like, it kind of stood out. I mean, it's not like earth-shattering or going to change the world or anything like that. But it's just interesting that someone wrote this in, I imagine it was the 50s, right? So maybe, let's see, when does this say? Well, it doesn't say, really. No, it doesn't say. But I think it's, I can't find it. Usually you have a published date, but it doesn't say in this book. It just says by Hopewell. But in any case, well, this version of it was 2006. But he wrote this, I believe, in the 50s or 60s, and I thought that was pretty neat that something from there applies to me personally. I'm not sure about you, but if you have like a network or a podcast network or a podcast itself, where you share it with a co-host or a few hosts, and you're like, yeah, I can pass it on to you guys. Now, the hard thing for people is letting go. And now, I see that would be the big challenge, right? Like, some would think like the Cantina Cast, I created it, and maybe back in the day, maybe 6-7 years ago, it would have been a problem for me letting go. I would have just left the Cantina Cast, have its feed on iTunes and wherever you find it for all eternity. I would just pay a less fee for the publishing, whatever hosting thing with Libsyn or whatever, and all those episodes would just be there for all time, right? Just for a record, because that's something I did. I accomplished it. It took a lot of pain, sweat, tears, aggravation, and everything. I wouldn't want it to just vanish. Now, I have most of the episodes saved and all that stuff for prosperity, I guess you could say. But back then, you know, as I said, and it kind of applies today, because my daughter was born 2 days after this, after the Cantina Cast was born, and it's kind of like my firstborn. It's kind of hard to let go. But now, since 2017, and I started feeling like, well, I can't do this much longer. I've said just about everything I could say. I have now. Like, since I filled in for Jonesy and I completed that, I've said all that I could say about Star Wars, with the exception of The Mandalorian coming up in October. But even after that, I don't know if I can continue on doing that. But that's what this sabbatical is about. Refreshing my brain, relaxing, stimulating things, and kind of decompressing and getting away from that for a little while. So maybe I'll return, who knows, with Star Wars. Maybe I'll be like, yeah, gung-ho again, but who knows. But I think I'm pretty much done. So my point being is, since 2017, my co-host and I split ways, and it wasn't exactly on the best of terms, sadly. I was fortunate and lucky, as I said before, to have Albert and Jonesy get in the mix and kind of carry on what we established with the Cantina cast. I was lucky with that, because if that hadn't happened, I don't know where I would have been. I probably would have just said, okay, fuck it, and let it go, and just do what I said earlier, where I'd just leave it. All the episodes would be there, but there would be no new episodes and everything. I'm in the position now I can let go of things, especially now that I've been, since 2017, been more reflective. Not as much in 2017, but then 2018, 2019 especially, and early this year, and with everything happening with the virus and everything, my priorities and perspectives are changing for the good, and I can let go of things a lot easier now than I could then. And it's not easy, especially when you created something. It was pretty successful, or mildly successful, I will say that. I mean, when you compare to Joe Rogan and me and, Adam Carolla and all that stuff, it's not even close. But, general population podcast, I guess you could say, it's been successful. A lot of people would kill just to have what the Cantina Cast has. And even the Basement and other shows that we do. So, yeah, I think I can let go. And even with the network, like, I created it, started it, I had a vision, and the vision has floundered. I've struggled with it, and I'll talk about that another time, but it's not easy creating a network, and then, of course, when you get all these personalities and you're trying to do the same thing, but finding that goal, problems come up, and I'll talk about network problems another day. But I could let go of it, and I could say, and sometimes I've had these thoughts in my head recent months where maybe I'm in the way. I should let them do their thing, and I kind of did do that. So I don't know, but I could let go of the network and all that. I wouldn't disband the network. We've all worked very hard to get it to where it is, and other people have been a part of it, have left, have donated, their time and energy and effort into getting it to where it is, and I wouldn't want that to kind of go away either. But I can let go and let someone else do that. Be like, hey, you go run it, I'll just own it, and come to me when you got a real problem, like a serious problem. So, but that was the big thought of today. That's what I had on my mind. I thought that was pretty cool. And this book, so far, been intriguing. You know what I love about it is that it's as you can see, it's thin, it's simple and to the point, which is really what you want with philosophy. Now, procrastinators are next. That's the next one. That'll be interesting. I used to fit into that. The individual, I'm definitely going to be interested in that, because I'm all in favor of the individual and stuff. So the book has been interesting. I got to get into all these other books. I just haven't had a chance. I think I'm going to dive into Alan Watts soon. I'll just leave it at that. But probably this weekend, or maybe Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. So, but that's all for today, guys. I just wanted to point out that information, especially if you're a podcaster, and maybe you're a podcaster that's been around the block like me. You've been in the game for a while, and you're getting into that whole pod fading thing, and you're like, oh, I've put so much into this. I'm burnt out. I don't know how much gas I have left in the tank, but I would like all this hard work and energy and effort to pay off, and I'd like it to continue and just continue without me, if I could do that. So I would say if you're where I was like a month ago and you're struggling, like trying to do a podcast about Star Wars was like, it was tough, man. I had to dig deep to do it, and I did it because I'm a professional, as you always should be. Just find a way if you want to continue that legacy. It'd be a shame to just throw away what you created and built and suffered and all that over the years. So this one goes out to the veteran podcasters, really. So hang in there, guys. Decompress, take a break, figure things out, who you can let run it, and you just kind of sit back and smile, saying it continues without me. Pass on what you've learned, so to speak, as Master Yoda would say. So that's all I got today. I will see you guys tomorrow. It seems to be cooling off a little bit, although it's supposed to be hot again tomorrow. So it'll be another hot one in the shed. And I should probably charge my light. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you later.